The leader of the public safety devil hunter, Makima, looks at her and tells her he's sorry as his stomach is grumbling. She replies to him and asks him what his name is. He tells her it is Denji. She looks at him and tells him that from that day on, he is going to be her slave. She continues and says she prefers when a dog says yes, woof, and for every reason, she refuses her dog telling her no. He looks at her and remembers when he met her. He sees her in the pool of dead bodies where they met and says Makima looked like a very nice person. He doesn't know why she wishes he was a dog. He remembers Pochita, who is a dog, and wonders how he will be as a dog. He resigns to his fate and he sits back. However, his stomach makes the same sound again. He looks at her awkwardly, and as they pass through the gate, she reminds him that they have not taken a break since morning. She thinks it's a good time for a break. She says they should stop at a neighboring restaurant and eat, but he tells her he has no money. It's also worthy of knowing that he is also half naked. She tells him anything he buys will be paid for by her, and he need not worry about money. Also, he says since he is naked, she will give him her suit to wear. She removes her suit, and Denji is amazed at how sweet she is. He says ever since he has been living, he has had several people who disliked him and people who refused to come near him because they believed he's smelly. But Makima isn't like them, and she's the first person to be the sweetest to him. They stop at a restaurant, as she had suggested. He looks through the menu and as he looks at the food available, he eventually asks for udon and sausage. The attendant asks Makima for what she wants, and she tells him she will also take curry udon. Denji is about to say another statement as regards to his order, but he suddenly faints. His eyesight gets blurry, and he rests his head on Makima's body. He tells her she smells nice. The guest behind them pushes them aside to make his order. When he gains his strength back, he apologizes to Makima and tells her he has fused himself with his devil friend Pochita in exchange for living his dream, and Pochita is in his heart. He tells her he assumes he has lost a lot of blood due to the process, and that explains why he feels that weak. She tells him she believes him. She accepts that she smells nice and says she has a great scent organ. So she has sensed a demon inside of him. But she certainly doesn't understand the process. As they talk, Denji collapses again. He wakes up by a bench beside Makima, and the first thing he says is udon. He looks around and keeps asking for his udon. He sees the meal right in front of him and he asks Makima if he can eat. She tells him to eat and asks him if he can eat himself. He says he could eat but he reconsiders his words, hoping that she can feed him. He tells her he can't eat on his own, and she feeds him. She puts the first bite into his mouth, asking him to say ah. He opens his mouth as he happily devours the meal while thinking about the person feeding him. He asks her for her name, turns out he doesn't even know her name. She tells him she is Makima, and he asks her if there is a type of guy she likes. After thinking about this question for a while, she tells him she likes a dingy type of guy. You can see his face get completely blown up by the excitement. They leave together as they walk through the people around to her workplace. On the way, he keeps thinking about her confession and says he also likes females like her. She takes him to her workplace, and as they enter, she fills him in about the work and tells him several people work at the department because of the great benefit and vacations, and he will join them soon. As they enter the elevator, he thinks about it and says if he works with Makima, he will eventually get together with her. He can't wait for an opportunity to get together with her. She takes him into her office, and she gives him his office clothes. She tells him that after he dresses up, she will introduce him to a colleague. He hardly dresses up, but he doesn't know how to tie a knot. She calls in one of her subordinates, Aki Ayakawa. She introduces Ayakawa to Denji and tells Genji that Ayakawa is 3 years his senior, and Denji will be working with Ayakawa. Denji screams. He has assumed he would be working directly with her, and he protests that he doesn't want to work with Ayakawa. As a result, Ayakawa drags him. He screams and says she wouldn't want to work with him. Ayakawa tells him he isn't in Makima's league and should let go. Instead, Makima goes nearer to him. She tells him that if he works diligently for a good period, he will fall under her league and they would work together. She bends down towards him, and she helps him with his tie while Ayakawa looks at them. As they leave the office for Demon Patrol, he keeps asking Ayakawa if Makima is single or in a relationship. He keeps talking, and Ayakawa calls him to a corner. He pulls him towards a refuse bin and he hits him repeatedly. Ayakawa tells Denji to resign that day and ensure he doesn't come back to work the next day. He brings out a cigarette and lights it. He tells Denji that the advice is for his own good, and he has seen several of his colleagues who took the job just for the money, and they died on their first encounters with demons. He says only people with passion and motivation like himself can survive. He continues and tells Denji that since Denji took the job only to get into Makima, he will die soon. He throws his cigarette at Denji and spits on Denji's body. He tells Denji that he will report to Makima that Denji ran away after encountering a demon. However, as he turns his back, Denji stands up and attacks him. Denji hits him. He tells him that he is a good man, and whenever he hits a man, he likes hitting men in their balls. After hitting Ayakawa, he tells him that he ate udon and the sausage today, and that is the first time in many years that he has ever had such delicacy. He says he was fed and he was clothed and he was treated like a human, which is indeed the first time such has ever happened. He says even if he has to die, he will ensure he dies for such an experience and he will die to protect what he felt. Aikawa stands up again, he hits Denji and tells him he doesn't deserve Makima. Denji stands up and hits Aikawa in his balls. Aikawa figures Denji is only interested in hitting his balls. Denji drags Aikawa back to the office, he takes him to Makima's office and tells Makima that Aikawa got into a fight with a demon that busted his testicles. Aikawa defends himself and tells Makima that Denji is lying. Instead of supporting any of these sides, Makima comments that they are getting along so well. She asked them if they want to remain in each other's team and tells Denji that he is now on Aikawa's team. When Aikawa protests, she reminds him that she has told him earlier that his team is an experimental one, and Denji is a special case that needs special study. She tells Aikawa that Denji will be given special treatment, and he tells him Denji is a human, but he can also transform into a devil. So Denji is to work with them for life, and if he resigns or betrays them, he will be treated as a demon and then killed. On their way out for patrol, Aikawa tells Denji that he will be staying with him since he deserves special treatment. He reminds Denji that he can be killed if he does anything. At this point, Denji feels scared of Makima. He asks Aikawa if Makima is a bad person. Aikawa tells him that if he feels such a way about Makima, then he should stop thinking about her. He reminds him that if Makima is a bad person, she would have killed him. Aikawa confesses that Makima has also saved him before. Denji concludes that Makima is a good person as he remembers all she has done for him. On his first day at Aikawa's house, he scatters the house while preparing toast. He spends a long hour in the bathroom by bringing the bathtub. He goes to the toilet where he sleeps, and he wastes all the toilet paper. Aikawa is frustrated already. The following day, they get a notification that a friend is sighted at a house. Aikawa goes there with Denji. As they enter, Denji asks Aikawa what a friend is. After Aikawa insults him that he didn't attend school, Aikawa explains that a friend is formed when a demon takes over a dead body. As they enter the room, Aikawa asks him to show himself as a devil and change into a devil to destroy the friend. But Denji goes near to the friend and uses his sword to kill it. When Aikawa asks why he didn't use his demonic powers, he tells Aikawa it's because he felt he should make the death painless. He says he could have been a friend too, so he doesn't see any reason why he should make their death painful. Aikawa punches him. He tells him that it's not a joke. He tells Denji that he watched a demo, and all these guards are also risking their lives, so he should take it seriously. After Aikawa walks away, Denji walks around the room and says the friend is just trying to protect the porn book and says he will keep it. He remembers when his demon friend asked about his dream. He tells himself that he is living his dream, however, his life isn't 100%, and he feels something is missing. He thinks it's because he wants to touch boobs in front of Makima. In the office, Makima tells him he would have a partner, and she's a friend. Her name is Power. She reminds him their team is an experimental one, and the government wants to cancel their team, so they should bring forth results. He goes on patrol with Power, and based on Makima's suggestion, they pass a not-so-populated area so they can avoid people, since Power's horn is obvious. Power keeps asking for something to kill, and Denji is frustrated. He says he will manage all of Power's issues because she is pretty. As they walk around, Power smells blood. She runs down, and while the police call for help that a demon, a sea cucumber devil, is by the road before the call ends, Power jumps on the devil and scatters his blood. Did you enjoy this recap? If you did, kindly like the video and subscribe to our channel so we can bring you the